Hi. I literally have my puppy behind me because she's being very silky. There she is. But let's and my room is like a literal pigsty on that side of the camera because she's been chewing up cardboard boxes. Say hello. No, she's hiding. But today we're filming my August book haul. So I have a little collection of things here to chat with you about. As per usual in a haul of mine, I don't really know that much about the books I haven't read yet because I like to go into things semi-blind. Hello? Hello? But let's jump in. So let's start off with the book I have already read that I picked up a new cover of because I hated the cover I had already, and that is We Are Blood and Thunder by Keisha Lupo. This is a high fantasy magic story. It's kind of got some steampunk elements and some foresty death magic elements. I loved this book and was so surprised by it. I thought I was going to DNF it. I thought I was going to hate it, and then I ended up giving it like a high 4 stars. And I have the second book too. This one just took a little bit longer to come in from the supplier. So I now have a better cover than the one I originally had, and I love this cover to pieces. The first one did not reflect the book in the slightest. And then I have a few things that my best friend Paige from Pages with Paige sent me. She sent me this promo like tarot-esque card from All the Hidden Gifts by Caroline O'Donoghue, which I own, but I didn't own the tarot card. And I don't really know how it applies in any detail to the story, but she sent me this along with a couple of books. I think she ended up with more than one. First off, she sent me My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyenkan Braithwaite. Obviously, I've heard a lot about this. It's been going around the book tubes for a while. It's pretty short. It's like 220 pages with relatively short chapters. It's about a girl whose sister kills all her boyfriends, and she follows along behind cleaning things up. So yeah, I have heard a lot of good things about this. I don't think Paige liked it, or she was very neutral about it, but I'm excited to give it a try. I might also listen to the audiobook at some point, but I now own it because she was unhauling it. And another book she was unhauling was Percy Jackson and the Greek Gods by Rick Riordan, which is a collection of short stories in the Percy Jackson world. I own all the original Percy Jackson series, which I picked up recently secondhand, so this like battered secondhand edition doesn't worry me. And I'm about halfway through the series, so I will read this once I've finished the series. Now shall we talk about the couple of books I bought in the month that I've already read? That seems like a good place to start. The first one of those is Gear Breakers by Zoe Hanamakuta. This is a mecha sci-fi dystopian set in this world where there's kind of like 2 factions of people, and one faction created these mechas as their gods and used them to like keep down the rest of the people, and then the Gear Breakers are these rebels that can go in and break down these god mechas. This was amazing, and I'll be talking about it more in my wrap up, but I will say it has a slow start where the world building kind of takes a bit to kick in. But once you get past the first little bit, it is so intriguing, so interesting. I love the dynamics between all the people. The sun came out. Calm down. Calm down. And the writing style, I don't know what's happening with the sun. My lighting at least changed on the camera. And the characters are just so interesting and fascinating and intriguing. I will be talking about this more in my wrap up, but yes, I picked this up and read it. I also picked up and read A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers, which is the first in the Monk and Robot. Is that what the series is called? Something like that. Which is going to be a collection of novellas, I believe, that are all like slice of life-y, following this tea monk and this robot. It's set in a world where like all the machines one day gained sentience, stood up and headed off into the wilderness because they didn't want to deal with humans anymore, and humans had to totally rethink the way they dealt with things in this post-factory age. And I loved this, but again, I'll talk about it in my wrap up. But it's classic Becky Chambers brilliance, And if you like Becky Chambers, you will love this. Where do we go from here? Gifts. Paige also pre-ordered me a couple of books for my birthday, which arrived April. My friend April, best buddy April, also has pre-ordered some stuff for me, but they still haven't arrived yet. So I'll be talking about those in my September haul. But the two that Paige got me were Mercury Boys by Chandra Prasad. This is a book about, it's a kind of speculative, complicated story with kind of a dark academia-esque feeling. But we follow Saskia, who is a biracial student in a population of mostly white students. But she figures out she touches this liquid mercury. Well, she sees this liquid mercury and touches an old daguerreotype, so a photograph kind of, and she can visit the man in the picture in her dreams, and her friends start to collect these Mercury Boys. I don't know, it turns dark and deadly is what it says on the synopsis. It is not a hugely long book, it's only like 350 pages, but I think it's going to be amazing, and I've heard some really good things about it, and it's been blurbed by a bunch of really good authors, so I think I'm gonna love it. Hence why it was on my list for Paige to pre-order for me. The other one she ordered me was the Mary Thieves by Sherry Dimmoline. The sun just really said, I'm gonna ruin your video. The Mary Thieves by Sherry Dimmoline is another dystopian dark fiction written by a Métis author, following the Indigenous peoples of Canada. And in this dystopian world, the Indigenous peoples of North America are hunted because their bone marrow is the only way people can dream. So this is like a renowned book, obviously you can tell from all the awards. It's pretty short, and I'm going to be reading it in September, and I'm really excited about it. It's apparently very heartbreaking, and I heard about it on Books and Lala's channel, and I've only heard good things, so I'm really excited to read it. But yes, Paige got me that one as well. Okay, sequels. Let's dive into some sequels. This chunky boy, Wings of Shadow by Nikki Palpretto, which is the third and final book in the Crown of Feathers series. I gave the first book like a solid 3 stars. I thought it was a little bit info dumpy and the writing style took a bit to settle in, but the plot was really interesting. And book 2 I felt like really solved some of its writing issues, and book 2 is much better. And this is the third and final. Oh, I'm burping. I believe it's really chunky, like 600 pages, but I'm gonna read it sometime soon, and I really hope I enjoy it. It follows Phoenix Riders, and that's kind of like the line of royalty, and then something happened and all the Phoenixes,
there's people that aren't dying.
all the Phoenixes, or a lot of the Phoenixes, were killed out, and all of their like reborn eggs hidden, and now she's a young rider trying to like regain a phoenix. Yes, it's really good. I really like this series. It did have some flaws at the start, but I feel like it's really settled into its own. The other sequel I have here is Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. I read Simon Verses last month, or the month before, and I enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but I thought I will continue with the series and see how I go, because I really liked The Upside of Unrequited. I don't know if I'm gonna like this. I might hate it. I don't know, but oh, we got it. This is obviously a contemporary series. I think Leah is bisexual. She's a drummer and fat, and it's apparently very dramatic. That's all I know. Now should we do authors I've read from before that aren't sequels? First off, we have Off the Record by Cameron Garrett. I've read Full Disclosure by Cameron Garrett, which is about a girl living with HIV. This one is about, it's a short little book about journalism, as you can tell from the cover. The main character, Josie, is writing a celebrity profile for a favorite magazine, but there's some terrible dark secrets. Yes, Cameron Garrett's a young author, and I've heard good things about this. I think it will be really good. I liked, full disclosure, I think I would have liked it more if I read it physically, so I picked this up in a physical copy. Then we have Small Favors by Erin A. Craig. I could not tell you what this is actually about. Let me read the back. House of Salt and Sorrows was her first book, which I didn't love. I thought it was a little bit predictable, but there was something like compelling about it. This features bees. It'll be a horror because her other one was horror, like a young adult horror. There are creatures trying to come for the area. Yes, I don't think this explains much. I'm getting vague, like what's that movie with the girl, she marries into the family and they have to play the game every wedding night to like murder, you know, to feed the like it feels like it's like old spirits like making favors. You feel. It'll be a YA horror as her last book was, and I did really feel the vibes of the last book. I just thought it was kind of predictable, but this has a very different setting. The other one was a 12 Dancing Princesses retelling, and this I feel like has more of a like small town American horror, and I think it will be really good. I just have to like read it with my eyes. I also picked up Our Last Echoes by Kate Alice Marshall. I wasn't sure if I was going to pick up this because the cover didn't automatically appeal to me. I feel like it's set in the north of America, like up north. Oh, there's an island called Bitter Rock. It kind of has, to me it had some like snow stuck on in like, it's a very like survivalist out in the middle of nowhere story. But what sold me on this is I've read Rules for Vanishing, which I loved to pieces. I thought it was amazing, and it's a mixed media thriller horror, like mystery horror, and this is actually the same, and it is actually set in the same like world. We're following the same detectives, like they're dealing with the same, another mystical kind of case. Oh, I love the color of the cover. I'm gonna try and read this in October because I think it will be perfect. And this is not going to be the only one apparently, but it's all about they're all like case files of these magical, mystical, horror-y events, and we're following the same detectives from Rules for Vanishing, but on a new case, and they kind of link, I believe, and there's going to be a third one as well. I loved Rules for Vanishing, so I really hope I love this. I'm going to try and read it in October. And finally, for books from authors I've read from before, we have Rise to the Sun by Leah Johnson, who's obviously the author of You Should See Me in a Crown, which I loved. This book is about two girls and a like meet cute at a music festival. It's a like 48-hour romance, so it does obviously have some like insta love vibes, but sometimes that's the point. And I don't know that much about what's going on in here, but I loved You Should See Me in a Crown, and I think Leah Johnson just will do amazing things, so I can't wait to read this. It is technically on my September TBR, but it is the last book on my TBR, and we're currently like 4 days into the month and I'm already woefully behind, so I'm suspicious I won't get to it, but I will be prioritizing it as soon as possible. And finally, the last couple of things by new to me authors. Some of them are debuts, or most of them might be debuts actually. I'm not sure, but let's go. First off, we have Counting Down With You by Tashi Bhuyan. This is another contemporary, and it's a fake dating trope and like a countdown to prom. I follow Tashi on social media and she's amazing, and I can't wait to read this. This is on my September TBR and I will be reading it. It's in a part I'm definitely going to get to. Yeah, I'm just so excited for it. I think it's going to be fun, rom-com contemporary YA, and it'll just be a good time. Then we have What Big Teeth by Rose Zabo. This is a Red Riding Hood retelling in a very loose way, I believe. Obviously, What Big Teeth, you know, got the vibes. It'll be horror, fantasy. It says, exquisitely terrifying, beautiful, and fierce, this genre-bending fantasy debut will sink its teeth into you and never let go. I've heard good things, and I think I'm gonna love it. I love this cover. The UK cover is also good, but this cover is stunning. Then we have Sugartown Queens by Mala Nunn. Mala is an Australian author. Yes, it's a Love Oz YA book. It is technically YA. I feel like it's kind of like in that border of like it's dark and complicated. It's a generational story, and the main character's mother lives in Sugartown, which is a shanty town in South Africa. But she's a white woman and Amanda's mixed race, I believe. I'm not sure. I don't know whether they moved or it's all set in South Africa. I'm not sure. The author is Australian, but I'm not sure. I know April's read this and absolutely loved it. It was like an automatic 5 stars. And hopefully I enjoy it as well. I just don't know that much about it to know what I'm gonna think, but hopefully I will love it. She's not a debut author. She has had another book as well, but I think I will really like this, and I think it's going to be impactful and make me cry, and I think it'll be amazing. I really trust April's opinion on that. Then we have Fat Chance Charlie Vega by Crystal Maldonado. This is a Latinx story. We follow Charlie Vega, who is a fat brown girl in a white Connecticut suburb. And I believe it has a lot of stuff about like family abuse and fat phobia. But I have heard mixed things, but like good things too. And I think it's just going to be a really important read. And I think it's amazing. I think I'm going to love it. Yes. Then we have The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reid. This is also on my September TBR, and this is a debut and follows it's a Jewish folklore story, and I believe it has themes of child sexual assault survivorship. I'm actually like about to start this today if I stay on track. That's where I'm going to get to if I stay kind of on track. And I think I'm going to really love this. I've heard mixed things, but also some amazing things. And I would not be surprised if some of the negative things are people who just don't know how to deal with the folklore of it and are a little bit anti-Semitic. I'm not sure. I won't say that, like, I don't know. But I can't wait to read this. I think it's going to be absolutely stunning. And finally we have The Dead in the Dark by Courtney Gould, which is a YA thriller of sorts, but like a ghost story. It's sapphic and follows 2 girls who, one of them, her parents, her fathers, her 2 dads are like ghost hunters. It's thrilling about the things that lurk in dark corners and parts of you that can't remain hidden, and about finding home in people and places you didn't expect. I've heard really good things about this. I heard it recommended by Wheezy, and I always trust Wheezy's opinion. And I think it's just gonna be like dark and complicated, but really good. I don't know, I'm really excited about it. So those are all the books that I picked up in the month of August. Let me know if you've read any of these and your most vague 3-word thoughts on it. So obviously I haven't read many of these. But let me know what your thoughts are. Also, let me know what you purchased in the month of August. If you have a video, I'd love to see it. And otherwise, I'll see you next time in another video. I don't know how to do my outro anymore. Thank you. Goodbye.